Hello everyone. Good morning. Going to announce that I'm going to start a new course named Abap Debugging or Troubleshooting MADG, where I will be covering the debugging concept of Abap from basic level to advanced level. This will help you to work in the support project like a pro consultant. You will be able to find out the issue. You will be able to find out the problems due to which a program might be giving the incorrect result, might be giving some undesirable result, or if any bug or any problems are there in the program, you will be able to find out with the techniques which I will be discussing in this course. This course is a good course for those who is really working in the support project and one who is willing to enhance their debugging skill like a pro consultant. So here let's go and see the total hours for this course is 10 to 12 hours. Under the class 1, I have divided the curriculum into 10 classes. So whatever I have given under the classes, it's not going to be exactly like that, but yes, this is a rough estimation, a rough content which I'm planning to cover. So maybe in the class 1, if I'm able to cover only these 4 topics, in the next class I will be covering surely for these 2 topics. So this is a rough curriculum, but all the contents I will make sure that I will cover, even if it going to take the more time, also I'm bound to cover. So let's go and see the curriculum. Under the class 1, different types of breakpoints, normal breakpoints in detail, session breakpoints, as we know, right? So different types of breakpoints we'll be discussing: hard-coded breakpoint, external breakpoint, conditional breakpoint. Okay. Under the class 2, we will be discussing the different dynamic breakpoint, like how to set the dynamic breakpoint on the function module, subroutine, on any ABAP syntax, ABAP keyword, message ID, message number, and many more. Where we are supposed to use which types of breakpoint, I will be giving you the overview for that. And then in the coming sessions, in the coming classes, we'll be discussing more about that. We'll be also discussing about the watch point and how to put watch point on a variable, then how to put a watch point on a variable with condition, how we can debug a RFC function module, how we can use a layer aware debugger in order to identify the custom code written as an enhancement in the standard program. So this particular tool is very powerful tool and very useful, mostly who is not having the knowledge what are the enhancements are done in a particular standard code, right? Let's suppose if I'm a new to a project where I don't know for a particular T code, let's ME21N, what are the enhancements are done, because I have not worked while implementing that project, right? I'm new to that project. I want to identify all the custom code in that particular standard code, ME21N or ME22N or ME23N, anywhere, any T code, any standard T code. So there we'll be discussing how we can use this tool effectively. Under the class 4, planning to cover how to debug the different types of forms, smart form, Adobe form. Okay. We'll be also discussing how we can debug the SAP script At least I will be letting you know that how we can debug that one. I will try to find out if some good SAP script is already present in my system. Then I will show you that one also step by step. But at least for SAP script, I will be giving you overview. For others, we'll be seeing into the detail because others is already there in my system and it will be easy for me to show you. Because SAP script is now obsolete, right? So very less used. It's there only present, which is already developed. Okay. So we'll see that also how we can debug. We'll see how to use the checkpoints, log point, assert, breakpoint. Okay. This is going to be useful when you are going to capture the log using the log point. Like if you want to capture a small text or a small log for a particular user for a dedicated time, right? For a specific time period, these checkpoints are going to be useful over there. Then how to debug the expression based syntax, right? Like we are having nowadays for operator, value operator, right? Iterative statement. So such kind of new syntax, like if you want to debug, how to debug that one, that also will be discussing. How to debug BDC, transactional BDC and session BDC, how to debug these both BDC, what are the different ways, how to debug background job, this also we are going to see, how to find all the custom code from a standard program effectively. So different approaches are there. Using the traces also we can find there is a T code which generally basis configure this one, ANST, and of course the layer aware, right? So we are going to see this in detail, and generally this is going to be very used in any kind of support project, right? Because generally we have to identify the custom code where the code is written, and we have to find the bug, right? And identify the solution. Under the class 7, I will be discussing about how to put the watch point on object, class object, how to push the watch point on object with condition. We'll be talking also about the debugger script and how this we can use in order to identify a table where any table is going to get updated. And for example, when we create any material, Mara table gets updated. So how to find where that Mara table is getting updated using the debugger script, that we'll be discussing. However, with the trace also is possible to identify, but yes, all these techniques we'll be discussing. How to debug update function module and how to debug transactional RFC, that's the RFC which runs in background. That also we'll be discussing how we can debug. How to test any BAPI without writing a single line of code, right? Very interesting. We are going to see Abap debugger. Under Abap debugger, we are having the various settings, right? So let me show you that settings quickly, which I'm talking about. So for example, here, this is a program, right? And let's go to this transaction, run this one and give something over here, /h, and click on the save button. So here, once we go into the settings, we are having the change, debugger settings, and here you can see that we have the different settings. So most of the settings we are going to discuss with the help of example, so that you can understand where we can use which one. And this is the one which is for the layer aware settings. So these all are the important settings. Some of them are very frequently used and very, very important, like these two, system debugging and update debugging. Out of these, this update debugging is frequently used. You might have used also, right? So these things which I'm talking about, so these settings also we'll be discussing in more detail. Okay. And then let's go to that. once again here. And here, like how to debug the TRFC, how to debug the shared objects. We'll try to understand how to debug the shared memory objects, and how to get a exception object information if catch into this is not there, right? So sometimes when we capture the exception, simply we write the caption, simply we write the catch and then exception. We forget or we don't use the into clause with the variable object, with the data object, right? So in that case, like if you want to see the content of the exception object, how we can do that, right? So that also we'll be discussing, and how to get a stack across the session. So generally what happens that whenever any internal session changes in our Abap program, right, the current stack shows of the current internal session only. But let's suppose if you want to see the stack for complete program from beginning till now, then this is how we are going to, this is what exactly we are going to discuss. So all these are possible through the option given there in the all in the debugger settings, and from there we will understand how we can achieve all these things. So we are going to see that. We'll also see that how we can debug any application which is based upon the control framework, right? So generally when any control framework like floss or dispatch are going to get used, the data transfer from GUI to application server or vice versa getting happens when these are going to get triggered, right? So it becomes difficult to debug then, because all the data transfer happens at last in one go. So if some issue is going to come, then how to tackle those issue. So for that purpose, like how to debug that also we are going to see. And also I'm planning to, cover how to debug the inbound IDOC and how to debug the outbound IDOC. So if you have some basic concept of IDOC, these sessions are going to be useful. If you don't have, I will share some basic concept, very basic concept, so that at least you will be able to understand that what actually what we'll be discussing in the class, you will be able to understand. So I will try to share some basic concept of IDOC, and then we will see this how to debug inbound IDOC and how to debug outbound IDOC. And like if I was also planning to debug the workflow, but for workflow actually for workflow I was not having any data, and I'm not having any data in the system. So for that purpose I removed workflow debugging from this place. But I will be discussing, as once you are going to attend this session, you are going to be part of my inner circle group, and you will be having the access for 6 months for my inner circle live session, which I take on every Sunday 4 p.m. as of now. So there, if some of you are having the workflow ready already in your system, there you can ask, and I will be showing you how you can debug the workflow in 1 or 2 classes like that. Okay, so this is what is the curriculum and what's the agenda for the classes which is here. And apart from this, the other details, like the fee is going to be 3,500. I will be sharing the fee detail, fee link in the description box. Just go and enroll over there. And start date is going to be 11th July. And total days will be 10 days. This session is going to be there for 10 days. And every day around 1 hour of session is going to be from Monday to Friday, only on weekdays in morning. 7:30 to 8:30. So that session is going to be there in morning from 7:30 to 8:30. I've just missed to write that part, but it's going to be there from 7:30 to 8:30. Let me just write here 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. So with this, just feel free to register, like if you are interested in this class and if you think that it's going to be useful, please feel free to register. In case of any concern, any query, just ping me on my WhatsApp 87004352 and 72. My one of the team member will address your query and give you the response. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being in touch with me. Thank you for your support and motivation. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.